Success is not a product of one-time effort or sudden bursts of motivation. Rather, it is the outcome of consistent actions practiced daily. The idea that consistency outweighs intensity may seem simple, but it is one of the most fundamental truths in achieving lasting success. In every aspect of life, be it personal development, career advancement, or building relationships, the habits we cultivate through consistent effort shape the trajectory of our achievements. Consider the analogy of a sculptor working with a block of marble. It is not one powerful strike that carves out the masterpiece, but rather countless gentle taps, each one gradually revealing the form within. Similarly, the habits we maintain day in and day out are the gentle taps that shape our lives. People often chase quick fixes or dramatic changes, believing that success will arrive through a single monumental effort. However, true success lies not in sporadic bursts of energy, but in the steady rhythm of consistent action. Think of successful athletes who spend years perfecting their craft, showing up to practice day after day, regardless of how they feel or what obstacles stand in their way. It is their unwavering commitment to consistency that builds their skills and endurance far more than any single intense training session could. In academics, too, it is not the night of cramming before an exam that guarantees success, but the consistent study habits formed over weeks and months. In professional life, successful individuals do not rely on occasional brilliance, but on the steady, reliable effort that builds credibility and expertise over time. One common mistake is overestimating the impact of intensity while underestimating the power of consistency. For instance, embarking on a rigorous workout routine for a week and then abandoning it when motivation wanes will yield no lasting fitness results. On the other hand, committing to a manageable and regular exercise routine, even if it is just a short walk each day, eventually leads to substantial improvements in health and well-being. The key is sustainability, choosing habits that you can maintain long-term rather than exhausting yourself with intense but short-lived efforts. Consistency does not mean perfection, nor does it demand that every day be flawless. It is natural to face setbacks, distractions, and moments of low motivation. The difference between those who succeed and those who falter lies in the ability to get back on track, despite the interruptions. Successful individuals are not immune to failures or lapses in routine. They simply have the resilience to continue their habits, learning from setbacks without letting them derail their progress entirely. One crucial element of building consistency is starting small. Establishing massive, ambitious habits right away often leads to burnout or frustration. Instead, focusing on small, manageable actions helps build confidence and momentum. For example, aspiring writers might begin by dedicating just 10 minutes a day to their craft, rather than attempting to complete entire chapters at once. Over time, this practice becomes a natural part of their routine, eventually leading to substantial accomplishments. The same principle applies to any goal, whether it's mastering a new language, building a business, or developing healthier eating habits. Consistency also demands discipline, particularly when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting and cannot be relied upon to carry us through tough times. Discipline, on the other hand, is cultivated through repetition and a sense of responsibility to one's goals. Developing consistent habits requires us to move beyond the temporary excitement of starting something new and instead focus on steady, disciplined action. This approach not only strengthens our resolve, but also fosters a mindset rooted in perseverance. Equally important is tracking progress and celebrating small wins along the way. Keeping a journal, maintaining a checklist, or using digital tools to monitor habits reinforces a sense of accomplishment. These practices serve as tangible evidence that the consistent effort is paying off, which in turn fuels motivation to continue. Small successes build on each other, creating a ripple effect that ultimately leads to more significant achievements. Acknowledging these incremental gains helps maintain enthusiasm and keeps discouragement at bay. The journey to success also involves being intentional about the habits we choose to build. And not every routine is beneficial, and some can even be detrimental to progress. It is essential to evaluate whether the habits we practice daily are aligned with our goals. Sometimes breaking unproductive routines and replacing them with constructive ones can be just as impactful as establishing new habits from scratch. This reflection and adjustment process ensures that our consistency remains purposeful and directed toward positive outcomes. As we strive to make consistency a cornerstone of our lives, it is essential to be patient with the process. Immediate results are rare, and the temptation to abandon long-term efforts for short-term gratification is ever present. However, understanding that success is not an overnight phenomenon, but a gradual accumulation of effort keeps us grounded. With patience and dedication, consistent habits transform aspirations into realities. In the end, the foundation of success is not built upon grand gestures, but upon small, consistent actions repeated over time. While intensity may create short-lived accomplishments, consistency fosters enduring success. By committing to steady effort, adapting to challenges, and maintaining discipline, we create the foundation upon which lasting achievements are built. Let us focus on building habits that last, for they are the true architects of success. Success is often perceived as a result of monumental achievements, grand gestures, or life-changing decisions. While significant actions can undoubtedly create impact, the reality is that success is largely driven by the small, repeated habits we cultivate every day. It is the seemingly insignificant choices and actions that accumulate over time, leading to profound results. Just as a single drop of water seems powerless but can carve canyons over centuries, small habits, when practiced consistently, have the potential to transform our lives. People frequently underestimate the power of small habits because the results are not immediately visible. It is easy to dismiss the value of reading just 10 pages of a book, exercising for a few minutes, or saving a small amount of money each day. These actions may seem trivial in isolation, but their true power lies in the cumulative effect. Consistently dedicating even a short time to a productive habit compounds over weeks, months, and years, leading to remarkable outcomes. This concept, often referred to as the compound effect, illustrates how small, consistent actions drive significant change. Consider the simple habit of reading for 10 minutes a day. In a single session, it may seem like little progress has been made. However, over a month, that 10-minute daily commitment becomes 5 hours of reading. In a year, it amounts to 60 hours, enough time to finish multiple books. This principle applies to any goal, whether it's acquiring new skills, improving health, or developing positive relationships. The small, consistent efforts stack up, resulting in exponential growth over time. Another common scenario is in the pursuit of fitness. A person who exercises for 15 minutes every day may not see drastic changes immediately. However, over time, the habit builds strength, stamina, and discipline. The body adapts, and eventually that 15-minute routine becomes effortless, motivating the individual to gradually increase intensity and duration. It is the consistency, not the intensity, that drives lasting physical transformation. Those who rely on intense but infrequent workouts often fail to achieve long-term success because they lack sustainable habits. Small, consistent efforts win the race. Small habits are also instrumental in shaping our mindset and behavior. The way we think and respond to challenges is often a reflection of the habits we cultivate. For instance, practicing gratitude daily, even if it's just jotting down a single positive thought, can shift our perspective from focusing on problems to appreciating life's blessings. Over time, this habit rewires the brain to recognize opportunities and positivity, fostering a resilient and optimistic outlook. Similarly, the habit of setting daily goals or reflecting on achievements keeps us aligned with our long-term vision and reinforces a sense of purpose. However, small habits are a double-edged sword. Just as productive habits compound into success, unproductive or negative habits accumulate into setbacks. Procrastination, unhealthy eating, or consistently ignoring responsibilities may seem harmless in the moment, but can lead to significant challenges over time. A single missed workout or a day of unhealthy eating won't derail progress, but repeated neglect becomes a pattern that hinders growth. This is why it is crucial to be mindful of the small actions we repeat daily. They shape our future for better or worse. Changing habits can be challenging, but the key is to start small and build gradually. The mistake many people make is setting ambitious, unsustainable goals that lead to burnout or frustration. Instead, focusing on tiny, manageable changes creates momentum. The concept of habit stacking is particularly effective, linking a new habit to an existing routine. For example, committing to a 2-minute meditation session right after brushing your teeth makes it easier to adopt the new habit. Over time, the duration can be increased and the habit becomes ingrained. This approach leverages the brain's tendency to follow established patterns, making new habits easier to maintain. To maximize the impact of small habits, it is essential to track progress and celebrate milestones. Small wins provide validation and encouragement, reinforcing the habit loop of cue, routine, and reward. Tracking progress doesn't need to be complicated. Using a simple checklist, journal, or digital app can serve as a powerful motivator. Seeing visible proof of consistency inspires further commitment, making it easier to stay on track. Ultimately, the power of small habits lies in their ability to reshape our identity. When we consistently practice habits aligned with our goals, we start to see ourselves differently. A person who reads daily begins to view themselves as a reader. Someone who exercises regularly identifies as an active, healthy person. This shift in identity strengthens commitment to the habit, creating a positive feedback loop. We act in alignment with who we believe we are, and over time, these actions become second nature. Success is not built overnight, but is the sum of countless small actions repeated consistently. It is easy to overlook the importance of small habits, but they are the building blocks of greatness. By recognizing their value and committing to them, we unlock the power to shape our lives and achieve long-lasting success. The path to success is not about making massive changes, but about making small, intentional choices every single day. Let us focus on cultivating small habits that align with our vision, knowing that even the smallest actions, when repeated consistently, lead to extraordinary results. Our habits are not merely routines we follow, they are a reflection of who we are and who we are becoming. The habits we cultivate shape our identity, and our identity in turn influences the habits we choose to maintain. This powerful connection between habits and identity is a fundamental truth that drives long-term success. When we consistently engage in actions aligned with the person we aspire to be, we gradually embody that identity, and success becomes a natural outcome of who we are. Often people set ambitious goals hoping to achieve success by sheer willpower. However, goals alone are not enough. It is our habits, those small, daily actions, that determine whether we become the person capable of achieving those goals. For instance, a person who sets a goal to become a successful writer may struggle if they only focus on completing a book. Instead, if they form the habit of writing every day, even if it's just a few paragraphs, they begin to see themselves as a writer. This shift in identity motivates them to keep writing, and over time, their consistent effort leads to the completion of the book. The key to building successful habits is to align them with the identity we want to create. When our habits reflect the qualities of the person we want to become, we reinforce that identity. For example, someone who desires to be a fit and healthy individual doesn't just exercise occasionally, they consistently engage in habits like regular workouts, balanced eating, and staying active. These actions reinforce their identity as a healthy person, making the habits easier to maintain. It's no longer a question of motivation, it's simply who they are. On the other hand, if our habits are inconsistent or misaligned with our desired identity, we face an internal struggle. And a person who wants to be productive but frequently procrastinates will find it challenging to achieve their goals. The inconsistency creates a disconnect between the identity they want and the actions they take. Over time, this gap erodes confidence and self-belief. Conversely, even small habits that are consistent with our desired identity can have a profound impact. By focusing on being a productive person and committing to manageable daily tasks, confidence builds and productivity becomes second nature. Our identity is also shaped by the stories we tell ourselves. If we constantly say, "I'm terrible at public speaking," we reinforce that identity and avoid situations where we could practice and improve. On the other hand, if we shift our narrative to, "I'm becoming a confident speaker by practicing regularly," we create a space for growth. The act of consistently practicing public speaking, even in small ways, reinforces this new identity, and over time, the statement becomes true. Our habits are powerful tools for rewriting the narratives we hold about ourselves. However, changing identity-driven habits requires more than just positive affirmations. It demands deliberate action. The process involves deciding the type of person you want to become and proving it to yourself through small wins. For instance, if you want to be a disciplined person, start by making and keeping small promises to yourself. Wake up at the same time every day, complete a daily task, or follow a morning routine. Each time you follow through, you cast a vote for the person you wish to be. Consistency in these actions reinforces your identity and makes the behavior habitual. Identity-based habits are also powerful because they provide intrinsic motivation. When habits are tied to identity, we don't rely on fleeting motivation to perform them. The behavior becomes a reflection of who we are, and we feel compelled to act in alignment with our self-image. This internal drive is far more sustainable than the external rewards or pressure that often motivate behavior change. The person who identifies as a lifelong learner doesn't study because they have to. They study because it is part of who they are. It is important to recognize that identities are not fixed, they can evolve. We can decide to become a different version of ourselves at any moment, and consistent habits are the pathway to that transformation. This process takes time, patience, and commitment. Habits often feel challenging at first, but with consistent effort, they become effortless, and the new identity takes root. This approach also provides resilience in the face of setbacks. When we inevitably stumble or miss a day, our identity keeps us anchored. A fit person who misses a workout doesn't abandon their routine, they recognize it as a temporary slip and get back on track. Because their identity is tied to being active and healthy, a single missed workout does not undermine their habits. The same principle applies to any goal. Seeing yourself as the kind of person who perseveres and adapts helps you stay committed, even when circumstances are difficult. Ultimately, success is not just about what we achieve, but who we become in the process. Our habits are the building blocks of this transformation, shaping our character, capabilities, and mindset. When we choose habits aligned with our vision of who we want to be, we bring that identity to life. By consistently acting in alignment with our desired identity, success becomes inevitable, an authentic expression of who we are. Let us choose our habits wisely, for they define not only what we achieve, but who we become. Success is often portrayed as a journey filled with positive habits and productive routines, but just as important, if not more so, is the ability to recognize and eliminate habits that hinder progress. Breaking bad habits is crucial to achieving success because these negative patterns can quietly undermine even the most ambitious goals. We all have habits that hold us back, and overcoming them requires awareness, intention, and consistent effort. The process may be challenging, but it is essential for unlocking our full potential and reaching the heights of success. Habits are powerful because they operate on autopilot. Once formed, they become ingrained, making them easy to repeat without conscious thought. This automatic nature is beneficial when habits are constructive, such as exercising regularly, managing time effectively, or maintaining a positive mindset. However, when habits are detrimental, like procrastination, negative self-talk, or unhealthy eating, they can sabotage our success without us even realizing it. The first step to breaking bad habits is recognizing them. Self-awareness is crucial because we cannot change what we fail to acknowledge. Many people are caught in the cycle of bad habits simply because they overlook their impact. It's easy to dismiss small, seemingly insignificant behaviors, but just as small positive habits compound over time to create success, negative habits accumulate and create obstacles. For instance, spending a few minutes each day scrolling through social media may seem harmless, but over weeks and months, it consumes valuable time that could have been used productively. Consistently hitting the snooze button may seem like a minor indulgence, but it gradually weakens discipline and sets a pattern of delaying action. These small habits, when left unchecked, lead to missed opportunities and unrealized potential. Breaking bad habits begins with understanding the habit loop, cue, routine, and reward. Every habit starts with a trigger or cue, something that prompts the behavior. The behavior itself is the routine, and the outcome of the behavior is the reward. For example, feeling stressed, cue, might lead someone to reach for junk food, routine, because it provides comfort, reward. To break the habit, we must disrupt the loop. We can do this by changing the routine, while keeping the cue and reward intact. In the example above, replacing junk food with a healthier coping mechanism like deep breathing or a quick walk can gradually rewire the habit. The key to successfully breaking a habit is not just to stop doing the negative behavior, but to replace it with a positive one. Simply resisting the temptation often leads to failure because willpower alone is rarely enough for long-term success. Instead, focusing on creating a new, constructive habit in place of the old one increases the chances of success. For instance, someone struggling with procrastination can replace the habit of delaying tasks with the habit of setting small, manageable goals and rewarding themselves after completion. Over time, the brain associates productivity with satisfaction, making it easier to stay focused. Consistency is vital in the process of breaking habits. The longer a habit has been ingrained, the more persistent effort it takes to change. Just as forming a good habit requires repetition, eliminating a bad habit requires repeated, intentional action. It is essential to be patient and resilient, recognizing that setbacks are a normal part of the process. The goal is progress, not perfection. Even small improvements are victories worth celebrating as they indicate movement in the right direction. Another critical aspect of breaking bad habits is managing the environment. Our surroundings significantly influence our behavior, often triggering habits without conscious awareness. By modifying the environment to minimize cues that trigger negative habits, we can make it easier to break the cycle. For example, someone trying to reduce screen time can create a designated area for focused work, free from distractions like smartphones and televisions. Similarly, someone aiming to eat healthier can stock their kitchen with nutritious options and keep unhealthy foods out of sight. These adjustments reduce the reliance on willpower and make positive choices more accessible. Accountability is also a powerful tool in breaking bad habits. Sharing goals with a trusted friend or mentor creates a sense of responsibility and support. The encouragement and gentle pressure from others can motivate us to stay on track. Joining a community of like-minded individuals, such as a fitness group or productivity challenge, fosters a sense of belonging and provides valuable motivation. The collective energy and shared commitment to change make the process more enjoyable and sustainable. Visualizing success and focusing on long-term benefits can strengthen resolve. When faced with the temptation to indulge in a bad habit, pausing to reflect on the long-term consequences can shift perspective. Imagine the impact of continuing the habit for years, how it would affect health, relationships, and success. Then, envision the benefits of breaking the habit: greater productivity, improved well-being, and personal growth. This mental exercise reinforces commitment and keeps the big picture in focus. Ultimately, breaking bad habits is about reclaiming control over our actions and aligning our behavior with our values and goals. It requires a deliberate decision to prioritize long-term success over short-term gratification. While the process can be challenging, it is a journey worth taking. The freedom that comes from overcoming limiting habits is transformative, opening doors to new possibilities and allowing us to become the best version of ourselves. Success is not only about building good habits, but also about eliminating those that stand in our way. By breaking bad habits, we create space for positive behaviors that propel us toward our goals. Let us commit to identifying, understanding, and replacing the habits that hinder us so we can fully embrace the habits that lead to lasting success. Success in life is often linked to habits that foster growth, resilience, and adaptability. In a constantly changing world, the ability to adapt and embrace growth is essential for long-term success. The habits we cultivate determine how well we respond to new challenges, seize opportunities, and continue progressing toward our goals. Those who develop habits of adaptability and lifelong learning position themselves to thrive in any environment, while those resistant to change risk being left behind. Embracing adaptability and growth as habits is not merely beneficial, it is crucial for success. Life is unpredictable and change is inevitable. Whether it is technological advancements, shifts in the economy, or unexpected personal challenges, the world around us is constantly evolving. People who resist change or cling to old ways of thinking often find themselves struggling to keep up. On the other hand, those who cultivate the habit of adaptability become comfortable with uncertainty and view change as an opportunity rather than a threat. This mindset enables them to pivot when needed, explore new paths, and stay relevant in a rapidly changing world. The habit of adaptability starts with a willingness to step out of comfort zones. Growth cannot occur when we remain in familiar, unchallenging environments. By intentionally seeking new experiences, learning new skills, and embracing uncertainty, we develop the confidence to handle change. It could be as simple as trying a new hobby, taking on a challenging project at work, or learning a new language. These small acts of adaptability build mental resilience, making it easier to face bigger changes when they arise. However, adaptability is not just about reacting to change, it is about anticipating it. Successful individuals make a habit of staying informed and aware of trends, emerging technologies, and shifts in their fields. They are proactive, identifying potential changes early, positioning themselves to take advantage of new opportunities. For instance, a professional who consistently upskills and stays current with industry advancements remains valuable and competitive, regardless of market shifts. This forward-thinking approach requires a commitment to continuous learning and a mindset open to growth. Lifelong learning is a habit that goes hand in hand with adaptability. The pursuit of knowledge does not end with formal education. It is a lifelong commitment to curiosity and improvement. Those who develop the habit of learning consistently expand their knowledge, skills, and perspectives. This habit equips them to solve problems creatively, adapt to new roles, and thrive in diverse environments. Lifelong learners are not content with what they already know. They constantly seek new information, challenge their assumptions, and refine their understanding. This habit of continuous learning can be cultivated in various ways. Reading books, taking online courses, attending seminars, and engaging in discussions with knowledgeable individuals are all ways to stay intellectually active. Even small, consistent efforts like reading an article a day or practicing a new skill for a few minutes can accumulate into substantial growth over time. The habit of learning helps individuals stay adaptable because they are always acquiring tools to navigate change. Adaptability and growth are not just professional assets, they are crucial for personal development as well. Life's challenges often require us to adapt emotionally and mentally. The habit of resilience, facing adversity with a positive attitude and a problem-solving mindset, enables individuals to bounce back from setbacks and emerge stronger. Those who cultivate resilience do not see challenges as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to learn and grow. This mindset is built over time through habits such as practicing gratitude, reframing negative situations, and focusing on solutions rather than problems. An important aspect of adaptability is the willingness to unlearn outdated beliefs and habits that no longer serve us. Clinging to rigid viewpoints or resisting new ideas can hinder growth. Instead, successful individuals make a habit of questioning their assumptions, seeking diverse perspectives, and remaining open to change. This practice requires humility and self-awareness, the recognition that no one has all the answers, and that growth often requires letting go of what we think we know. The habit of adaptability also involves managing stress and uncertainty effectively. In unpredictable situations, the ability to stay calm, evaluate options, and make decisions under pressure is invaluable. Techniques such as mindfulness meditation and stress management routines help cultivate a steady mindset. These habits allow individuals to navigate challenges with clarity and composure, making them more effective in handling change. One of the greatest benefits of cultivating habits of adaptability and growth is the confidence it builds. When we consistently push ourselves to learn and adapt, we develop a sense of self-efficacy, the belief that we can handle whatever comes our way. This confidence fuels further growth, creating a positive cycle of adaptability, learning, and success. The world will continue to change, and success belongs to those who can evolve with it. By making adaptability and growth a part of our daily habits, we ensure that we are always prepared to face the future with confidence and curiosity. These habits keep us agile, resilient, and ready to seize new opportunities. Let us commit to embracing change, seeking growth, and making adaptability a cornerstone of our lives, for it is this mindset that will ultimately lead us to success. Success is not a destination, but a journey, and the habits we cultivate along the way determine the quality of that journey. A crucial yet often overlooked aspect of success is consistency, showing up every day and staying committed to our goals, even when motivation wanes or challenges arise. Consistency is the glue that binds all other habits together, transforming small efforts into significant achievements over time. Without it, even the most effective habits are rendered powerless, and the pursuit of success becomes a series of false starts and unfulfilled promises. Many people set ambitious goals, inspired by a burst of motivation. They begin with enthusiasm, committing to new habits and routines with high hopes. However, motivation is fleeting, and the initial excitement often fades. It is during these moments when motivation is low that consistency becomes essential. Those who achieve success understand that motivation may come and go, but consistency sustains progress. It is the act of showing up day in and day out, regardless of mood or circumstances, that separates the successful from the rest. Consistency does not mean perfection. It does not require flawless execution every single day. Instead, it is about making progress, however small, and staying committed to the process. Some days may be more productive than others, and setbacks are inevitable. But consistency means picking up where you left off, refusing to let occasional lapses derail long-term efforts. It is about developing the discipline to continue even when the results are not immediately visible. This patience and persistence are crucial because success often arrives long after the initial effort has been made. The power of consistency lies in its ability to create momentum. Just as a snowball gathers mass and speed as it rolls downhill, consistent actions build on each other over time. The first steps may seem insignificant, but as progress accumulates, the impact becomes undeniable. A person who reads 10 pages of a book each day may not notice a difference initially, but after a year, they will have read dozens of books. An individual who commits to daily exercise, even for a short duration, gradually becomes stronger, fitter, and more disciplined. The results of consistent effort compound, turning small actions into significant achievements. However, building consistency requires establishing routines that make habits automatic. Habits are easier to maintain when they are integrated in daily life rather than treated as optional activities. Creating a routine that aligns with goals helps reduce the reliance on willpower. For example, setting a fixed time each day to work on a goal eliminates the decision-making process and minimizes excuses. Over time, the routine becomes second nature and consistency follows effortlessly. Tracking progress is another powerful way to maintain consistency. By measuring efforts and results, we gain a clear picture of how far we have come. The act of tracking itself serves as a reminder of the commitment made, whether it's checking off tasks on a to-do list, logging workouts, or journaling daily accomplishments. Tracking creates a sense of accountability. It reinforces the habit loop of cue, routine, and reward, making it easier to stay consistent. One of the greatest challenges to consistency is the temptation to quit when results are slow. People often abandon their goals when they don't see immediate success, underestimating the time it takes for habits to bear fruit. This impatience stems from a desire for instant gratification, a mindset that must be replaced with a long-term perspective. Consistency requires faith in the process, trusting that small, repeated actions will eventually lead to success. It demands resilience and the courage to continue even when progress seems minimal. It is also essential to recognize and celebrate small victories along the way. Acknowledging progress, no matter how minor, provides encouragement and motivation to keep going. Success is not always marked by grand achievements. It is often found in the quiet, consistent efforts that build over time. By celebrating these small wins, we reinforce the habit and create positive associations, making it easier to stay committed. Consistency is also about aligning actions with values and purpose. When we are deeply connected to the why behind our goals, staying consistent becomes easier. A person who exercises because they value health and vitality will find it easier to maintain the habit than someone motivated solely by external rewards. Understanding the deeper purpose behind our habits fuels the commitment needed to stay consistent, even when the journey is challenging. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Consistency does not mean avoiding challenges, but learning to navigate them without losing focus. Those who achieve success understand that setbacks are part of the journey and use them as opportunities to strengthen their resolve. The habit of resilience, getting back on track after a slip-up, is a vital component of consistency. It allows individuals to continue moving forward even after stumbling. Success is rarely about grand gestures or monumental changes. It is the result of small, consistent actions repeated over time. Those who master the habit of consistency achieve more than those who rely solely on motivation or occasional bursts of effort. Consistency requires patience, discipline, and a commitment to the process. It is about making steady progress day after day until success becomes inevitable. In the end, success is not defined by a single moment or accomplishment, but by the habits we practice consistently. By showing up every day and making progress, no matter how small, we pave the way for greatness. Let us commit to consistency, trusting in the power of small, deliberate actions to create the future we envision.